Welcome to Empowered, Mind-Body Inspiration. The mind is the map to wholeness, wellness, health. The heart is the key to genius and inspiration. Join me and my guests as we explore how to release and rewire into who you truly are, unique, whole, and empowered. Please like, share, and subscribe. Spiral up, spiral out. Welcome, everyone. Today we have Dawn Jackson from Texas. Dawn and I know each other through Thrive Tribes, through Jayne and this incredible movement to come up with solutions for this planet. And Thrive Tribes is an amazing concept and idea that has come forward, and you can easily join it on Facebook. But Dawn is this incredible person with this amazing inspirational story that I wanted to share. And so, yes, Dawn, hello, how are you?
Hi, Jayne. Great. I'm great. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me. Yes, this is a special moment. And so, yeah, thank you again.
Yeah. So why don't we just start with your story? Like, you're such an amazing person, and you have this deep inner knowing that you connect to and talk about with such passion. Where did that all start?
Oh, wow. It started probably, I'm just guessing, number of years. It's been over close to 20 years, maybe a little bit longer. Right around that time period when I was incarcerated in prison. And I think you know a little of my story. In 1991 of January, I was incarcerated along with a co-defendant for a double homicide in jail, and I was convicted. Even though my co-defendant, these two young men were killed, and he's the one that actually shot them. And he turned himself in first and gave a statement, and which was totally false from actually what happened. Tried to put the gun in my hands when that's not what happened. Well, so he twisted it, but didn't think I was going to turn myself in, but I did like 2 weeks later. Never gave a statement. So when he was sentenced, we were both given the same plea agreement. And he went before the judge first under the same plea agreement that they offered both of us. And after he was convicted, he got 40 years for it. And then afterwards, he went to his attorney and said he wanted to go to the DA and redo his statement because his first statement was false, implicating me and so forth, and just how he twisted that story. So after he gave his second statement, which was printed, in a transcript, the DA said, no, I'm not going to accept this. He's just trying to help his friend because his friend hasn't been convicted yet, and so forth and so on. So, but I was intending to go to trial, but my father talked me out of it. And so he said, you better accept this plea agreement. So because they dropped it from first degree to down to second degree. And so I accepted it. So when the DA didn't accept his, statement in his second statement, after I read it, I said, yes, this is what I've been trying to tell you. I was telling my father this, he was a Texas Ranger at that time. So law enforcement was just kind of ironic,
Mm.
So that story never changed. So, and when he gave his second statement, that story was correct. That's what happened. For the DA wouldn't accept it. So when I got sentenced, the judge slammed me because I never gave a statement and said that I showed no remorse. And so he gave me, where my friend got 40 years in the plea agreement, he gave me the maximum of 52. And so my friend did 19 years and made parole, and where I did 29 years. And I was released on December the 9th of 2019 and been out since. And so, but going back to my spiritual experiences, or somewhere around 20 years ago.
Can I just say, Dawn, that is like actually anyone's worst nightmare, being implicated in something like that and having that happen.
Well, on one aspect, yes, I would agree with that. But for me, I take full responsibility for being there and not. I could have stopped it, but I didn't, and I went along with it. So it was just I was at a very horrendous time in my life. I'd lost everything, and I was just in survival mode, and I was just making just totally, really, really bad decisions, choices. I was on a very destructive path, and so, but I understand now that I created all of that myself through the choices that I've made. And so I understand so much now about creative, how we are, each one of us are creative beings. We create moment by moment by moment, first through our thoughts and then our actions and how all of that plays out with the energies. So my spiritual experience, um, I grew up, going to church, traditional family household, going to church, not every Sunday, but maybe every other Sunday, mom and dad and, brother and doing that. And I was an acolyte, in the church. And so my direction kind of changed. Well, it didn't kind of, it did at the age of 17 when my best friend um, shot and killed himself right in front of me. And he wasn't intending to do it. It was an accident playing with my mother's gun in our house. And we were fixing to go to a pep rally. It was on Friday, but he was playing with it and I didn't. It would just never cross my mind that it would go off. He and you ever seen the movie? What is it? It came out in the 70s. It was the old Vietnam movie where they're American prisoners of war. They get captured and they're being forced to play Russian roulette.
Right. Yeah.
The name escapes me right now. Well, we had just watched that movie, my best friend and I, like 2 weeks prior to this. I know that's where he got the idea. So he was just playing and put the bullet, took them all out and put one bullet, spun the cylinder, put it to his head and pulled the trigger. And it was just 5 feet in front of me. And never in my wildest imagination would I think it would go off, but it did. And just everything just went into slow motion. Him falling backwards and me on top of him trying to, but after losing my best friend, I just questioned everything. And I was angry at God, but my state of understanding and consciousness, of God, and all of that, but yeah, like I said, I became very angry and bitter. And so questioning God, cussing God, kind of blaming God, right? And so I quit going to church. And so the drinking became an alcoholic. And so I found a friend who was another alcoholic in high school. So we hung out and we were kind of the winos, and doing really stupid, just crazy, destructive things. And my father being law enforcement, a Texas Ranger, highly respected, so me getting into trouble and it just not anything major, but, minor, drunkenness in public or, fighting, just dumb. But then I went to school for a little while. Well, I quit high school after that. I was in my senior year and there were rumors spreading around, after my friend shot himself, that there was, so many different rumors that I had shot him and was trying to cover it up. My dad, because a Texas Ranger, was covering it up and just different stories going around. But so I quit high school in my senior year and then went and got my GED and went to college for a little while and did a law enforcement thing. Well, I was going to law enforcement different classes and was wanting to pursue that because I'm a natural investigator. It's kind of like where I'm at now. I question everything. I seek truth. I seek knowledge and wisdom. The higher wisdom. So not at that time, but so
yeah, it resurfaced.
yeah. So going to college and then quitting that and then going different avenues and directions. So my awakening came in prison. I was a complete atheist when I first went in. But I was just so full of hate and anger and all of those negative lower consciousness levels, vibrations, frequencies, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
And so I attracted that. Excuse me?
Yeah, but fair enough, right? Like people, we do get angry with God and turn away when something like that happens. It's just so hard to handle.
Oh, and yes. Oh my God, yes. It's all about how we react to the situations, and a deeper understanding, you know, of, like we talked before we came on here. You know, it's the understanding of who and what we are. You know, at that time, and in my state of consciousness, I didn't really truly understand. Because we're all brought up, in this traditional, church setting. It's a what I refer to as an exoteric, which is an outer teaching. And what I've come to learn, is that there's an esoteric or an inner teaching to, almost all of the religions, the major religions, and especially in the Bible. Oh Jesus, I, I said Jesus, but yes, so many of the sayings of Jesus, this grand master teacher, the esoteric, the underlying words that he used, you know, the power in there. This is what I strive for, the inner teachings, because they reveal the inner man, the inner person of who, or soul or spirit of who, what we are. Sorry if I'm
Yeah.
jumping around here a little bit.
Yeah, no, I love it. Like, so it was in prison really that you started
Yes.
to question again, because really, well, when you're there, right? What you have like choice. Either try to figure this out and go within, or
Mm.
continue on that path. So you chose to go inside. Is that
Yes.
right?
And
Yeah.
yes, Jane, it was probably, I would guess, hmm, maybe a good 10 years when I was in that. I started to transition from the atheist mind of thinking, believing, into the agnostic questioning, because I had some things happen to me, especially my cousin, my beautiful first cousin, Renee. She is beautiful. I just got off the phone with her a few hours ago, but she's very enlightened, very spiritual. But she came to visit me. I hadn't seen her in years and years and years. And she related to me a near-death experience she had had when she was 19 years old, and where she had gone. And she's seen Jesus and was told that she wasn't coming. She couldn't go past a certain point, and that she was going to come back. And because she was going to have two boys, and she was going to meet a man and have two boys. And at that time she had two boys, but at that time she was probably, she's 10 years older than I am. So she was probably in her 40s. Yeah, probably mid 40s at that time. And one of her sons is the same as his birthday is the same as mine. But after relating this story to me, it got me to awaken, because, looking at her and her sharing that, and me feeling it and knowing, hey, she experienced this, and
Yeah.
whatever happened to her happened, and so that got me to questioning. And then I got into reading books on, near death experiences, and that is just a slow progression. I got into numerology, into astrology, all the ancient sciences, ancient wisdom, ancient civilizations, secret societies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and got into the Bible. And I eventually, over a number of years, I even became a member of an order, a Western Mystery School based out of California, and I was receiving courses and lessons from them, and just awakening, and just it was like I was reliving like a past, something that I already knew, but it was reawakening within me. And I'm a big believer in past lives, yes, reincarnation. And so it was like, okay, this resonates so deeply with me. And so then moving along, my experiences, especially with the angels, and for everyone listening, the angels are very real. That I say that through my own experiences and interactions and working. in that arena. Just so much there. But yes, the angels are very real. Oh my goodness. If people only knew, they are very high vibrational, spiritual, loving beings.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but
and I did an interview with someone who had a near-death experience, and he described the angels that were around him, like, as if they were human, but not human, but they're different. They had different ways of appearing, but they were around him and very loving. And so they're there, they're accessible for us. Like they're with us at all times. Is that what you
yes,
experienced? Yeah.
yes. When I got into numerology big time, I got to learn about angel numbers, 111, 1111, 222, 333, so forth. But they almost always come in three because the power of number three is extraordinary. The power that's expression, communication, expansion, creativity. So when I was seeing the angel number 444, like everywhere, everything, TV, clock, etc. And it was just happening on a daily basis, time after time after time. And so I got into looking at the number 444, and it was basically saying that the angels, it's a message from the angels saying that you're on the right path. We are supporting you. Keep moving along. And then, yeah, I'll share this powerful experience with you, Jayne, and with the listeners. I was watching. I was in a dormitory. They call it a dormitory area. This is after I moved out of the cells. I was working as a plumber in maintenance, doing really well. But it was a dormitory size area, where you have a big day room with two TVs. Well, Oprah was on. I believe it was Oprah, and she had this lady. She was a psychic medium, but she specialized in angel communication and angel numbers and so forth. Well, I'm just mesmerized. I'm glued to the TV, listening to her. And so she's going through the numbers. Well, she gets to 444, and she explains this basically, what I just told you. And I'm like, oh, wow. And I'm like, yes, thank you. I'm like, in my mind, I'm saying, thank you. Well, I've got a bunch of prisoners around me. I'm not fixing to, express, talk, because most people think, that you're wacko. So after the program was over, I'm feeling so energized and so great. I'm in my mind, I'm thanking God, I'm thanking the angels, right? And so I walk back to my cubicle, which is maybe 75 feet away. And as I'm walking in my mind, I'm thanking the angels, and all of a sudden, this force field, this is all I can call it, or it's this beautiful, warm force field enveloped me. As I'm walking, I feel it getting stronger. And then I start to tear up a little bit, and just this immense love and warmth was like angel wings coming from, and enveloping me. And all of a sudden, and I'm trying to fight it, because there's other inmates, and so I don't want, see everybody's, hey, what's wrong with you? Or, what's going on? So I'm like 10 feet away from my cubicle. I can go in. And then it just really hits me, and I can't control it. And I'm trying to stop it, and I can't. And so I sit on my bunk, and I put my head in my hands, and I just bawl like a baby, and it just gets stronger. But it was the most incredible love that I've ever felt, and it was just, oh, words can't describe it, Jayne. It's just this energy, this beautiful, loving, healing. It's just, and
I know.
but it was just,
I actually had it happen. I've had it happen less intensely, but once when I was in a lot of pain, when I honestly didn't know how I was going to work through this pain. And I was in the worst pain of my life 1 minute, and enveloped with this love for hours. Yes. And it was,
wow.
Yeah, for like about 6 hours it stayed, and then it dissipated. Yeah. And you can't explain it. You can't describe to anyone what you just experienced, but it was this feeling that everything's going to be okay. Right.
Yes.
And for you, That must have been an incredible experience of this is real. Like this is,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. 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 Yes.
And I'm on the
Yes.
right track, right? Like what I'm
Yes.
looking at is real and it matters. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It awakened me to where I was, I became more aware of not only who or what I am, because I have other experiences. I've had out of body astral travel, not on a on a woke level, but sleeping to where it was it was kind of a lucid dream, but more, I don't know how to describe this. It was more of a lucid dream. It was kind of like a lucid dream, but I was in another realm, and I knew I was, and I was traveling. Um, yeah, I know I was on some level of the astral plane. The higher levels. They have the lower vibrational, higher
Mhm.
vibrational levels of the astral plane. So the experiences that I had there, um, being, let's see, this one where I was inside of a cube. It was a perfectly shaped cube crystal. I like to use the word crystal because it was clear, kind of like glass, but it was like crystal. Where I walked into, the door was open, and it was maybe 12 by 12. I'm gonna say 12 foot by 12 foot, just a perfect cube. And the door was open, and I remember walking into it, and then when I got to the center, the door shut, and as soon as the door shut, this swirling golden white light from the center, I'm not sure if it swirled upwards, through me or downwards through me, but there was a connection made there with this light. And I felt this light, but that connection from top to bottom, whenever that came, Jayne, my consciousness expanded and it just went everywhere. And it's like I was downloaded. It just for like 4 or 5 seconds. It's like everything all the answers I was searching for, I was connected to it.
Yeah.
And I knew everything. It was so incredible. And I remember it was so overwhelming. I shouted out, "Yes!" And it was so emotional and so powerful. I woke up and I'm like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
that was amazing." I connected to source, but then it got me into studying the cube, the geometrical figure of the cube. And I learned in that order I was a member of, the Western Mystery School, goes deeply into the cube. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I've been there. And then I got into Metatron's cube and Archangel Metatron, and that's what I wear around my neck, Metatron's cube. And if you look deeply into it, there is a cube there. But it's a geometrical symbol, as above, so below. But it's our 3D dimension is created on geometrical patterns.
Mhm.
And they're extended down through lower vibrational frequencies into density. But they originated from the higher planes. But that's, yeah, sacred geometry is what it's about. Oh my God. Yeah. Sacred geometry is awesome. It's in crop circles, and, just look at the building, look at this third dimension, just go out and look, it's what it's built on, sacred geometry. The Freemasons and all of them, that's what they used, is
Yeah.
to build the great cathedrals, and, from the 11th and 12th centuries and so forth. And yeah, it's
Right. It's like
knowledge.
we've had this knowledge in a more conscious level in the past than we do
Yes.
now. So you most likely knew all those things, and now we're remembering them. And so this trip to prison was actually a gift.
In a sense, yes, and I'm so grateful for this, but Jesus, why? And studying astrology, looking at my chart and going back to where it was, I'm not sure if you know anything about astrology and the planet Saturn, how it plays into your karma, karmic debt, and so forth. But how it's aligned in my chart, it just played out at that moment in time, how in my natal chart, how it's conflicted with certain planets at a 90-degree angle. And so this is probability, but it doesn't have to be, because we're all always presented with options and choices. When these obstacles and limitations come into our play, we have the ultimate choice. It's there, it's kind of imprinted, for us to learn the lessons from a previous life. But ultimately, we can change that when we're presented with it and say, no, I'm not going that direction. That's not right. Right. So
Yeah.
I'm going here. But if you deviate from the path, then maybe you won't learn what you were intended to learn here. Right. When that limitation obstacle, maybe that was a lesson for you to learn. But I don't like to look at that way, because 2 young men lost their lives. Right. Even though I know now that death, there's no such thing as death. It's a transition from one state of consciousness, to a higher level. But, and it took me a while to get over this, Jayne. The intense feelings I had, for what I had created, the death of these 2 young men, and then how it spread out, and all the pain and the hurt, for their families, for their friends and loved ones, right? And not only for them, but for my family, how it devastated them, my parents and my brother. So understanding that law, that beautiful law of the universe, that cause and effect. And this is so big for me now, and I hate seeing it play out in the world in so many arenas. Is people do not truly understand that law of, not only law of attraction, but that cause and effect, how we affect not only ourselves, but others that we interact with, not only on an individual level, but on a global level. The planet, the atmosphere, everything is cause and effect. And so what I'm thinking of right now, what I want to say is that, what I truly come to learn is that we are all here. This is very simple. We are all here to learn what to do and what not to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all learning. It's all a learning process to grow, to evolve, to become. That is the goal, to become this greater spiritual being that we all are. And coming to know that who we are, just, what you touched on earlier, Jayne, is that's the key. Understanding. Yeah. Understanding what we are.
Yeah. So do you think, like, we come here with amnesia of that for the most part, and to find it again and remember it again and become connected to it is possibly our greatest goal, or where we should be putting most of our effort?
Yes. Yeah. I would agree with that. Yes, wholeheartedly. That's in that connectivity. Yes, connecting with that. But first, we have to connect with that within us and know that, and then that we can connect with others.
Yeah.
But yes, and it's that heart center. Yes.
Yeah. So you said that you had this guilt that you carried forward, and it would really gnaw at you. How did you overcome that?
Learning to forgive myself, but talking to God, talking to the angels. And this is what I love to do, Jayne. I mean, just vocally speaking, out loud, because words, sound is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So it's vibration. It's just vibration. It's frequency. So when I speak, and people pray, and I pray as well, but I like to speak it out, just in my daily task activities. I walk, and I'll say, hey, hi God, or hi angels, talk to me today, be with me today, surround me with light, guide me, protect me, teach me, just whatever comes to mind, whatever comes from here, or I'll send that, I ask angels to go somewhere, to help somebody, to help them, whatever struggles they may be going through. And so it's vocalizing it. And I like to use, when I'm speaking, or meditating or praying, and when I'm speaking aloud, or even internally, the I am, like in capital I am, because that I am consciousness is what I've come to learn is who and what God is who and what we are. And that I am consciousness is centered in the heart. That is the love center. That is what Jesus spoke about. I am the way. In Exodus 3:14, in the St. James in the Old Testament, where Moses is talking to God, who do I tell the people your name? But it's capitalized, I am that I am. And so knowing that I am consciousness, what Jesus spoke about, it's all about love, Jayne. Jesus, what I know now, those two great commandments that Jesus brought us. Love yourself, love God, love your neighbor. That's what it's all about. And love is not just, to me, it's the most powerful force in the universe. And it's not just the connectivity with your friends or your family, oh, I love my car, I love my house, I love my brother or my sister or whatever. Yes, that is a form of love, but the most highest form of love is a creative force. We create with that force. And when you use it in its purity, in its natural state, this is what I've come to learn. Truth, beauty, goodness. We can create that in our lives and the lives of others and the planet. Truth, beauty, goodness. Those three. And it's just so powerful, and like I like to use the Star Wars phrase, may the force be with you. But in Star Wars, I've come to watch it now more because I listened to Yoda and those words of wisdom. I'm like, wow, who wrote that? Somebody was connected, even though they don't, mention love, but they're speaking of the same force.
Yeah.
Of the universe. It's God, it's divine being, whatever name, title you want to call it, it's that. And that's what's within us, use that force to create, because we are creator beings. We create moment by moment by moment by moment, but being responsible creator, creating that truth, beauty, and goodness in your life and the lives of others and the planet, connecting with those that are connected there and expanding, creating this beautiful grid, this net, over the planet. And that's what we were talking earlier, Thrive Tribes Global, and the 13 tribes that surround it, that's, and 13, oh yeah, yes, it was 13. 13 is a powerful number. It's been so misused in the past, and it made out to be bad, but the number 13 is very powerful. There was 12 disciples and plus Jesus was 13, but anyway, there's so much to that. But yeah, that creativity and the love. Yes.
I loved what you said about being a responsible creator, like realizing that force is within each of us and connecting to it and then using it responsibly.
Yes. And then experiencing it. What I'm sharing with you today is just a message. And that's what I want to do, Jayne. Just share the message, help people to wake up, and I'm not, it's not an ego thing. It's a spiritual, it's a spiritual thing because of what I've been through and what I feel, needs to be shared at such a critical time, on our planet right now. Is to share this message, whatever platform that I can use. And I think I've told you before, I'm working now, but when I find the time, and I build up my confidence level a little bit, I'm going to start my own YouTube channel, One Heart, Let's Get Connected, because it's, when I say one heart, it's what it's all about. That right there, that's the seat of the soul in the heart. But getting this message out and helping others, I just want to share, and feel. Yes, use your, I tell people, feel, because feelings are the language of the soul. I've come to learn that. And that's the one feeling. And that feelings are the one emotion we take with us into the spiritual realm. And so feelings are so important. And so but that interaction on a daily basis with our fellow human beings, just being kind and learning and experiencing, you don't, and for me, seeing the judgment aspect of our society, how it's broken up into, different social systems, caste systems, in different countries because of ruling elites and so forth. But the rich and the poor, the powerful and the not so, how there's this judgment level going on. We don't know exactly what a person's been through, before you judge someone, what kind of clothes they're wearing, kind of car they drive, a house they live in. We're all the same, Jayne. We are all the same, but we've been so separated through these thousands of years by these controlling forces, these malevolent forces, that's what they want to do. They want to separate us, keep us from our divine nature, our divine spirit, knowing what we are, fighting each other instead of coming together in unity and love and harmony, our co-creative state of who and what we are, right? So they disturb that frequency field on a global level, and so it disturbed our frequency field. It's all about the field. If you ever watch David Icke, I love David Icke. He's got it. He talks all about the field. And yes, we are all energetic fields, consciousness, interacting with each other.
How do you see them distorting the field?
Oh gosh. Through social media, the corporate owned and controlled news media, okay, that David Icke likes to say our perceptions of reality are being manipulated and controlled to according to what they want it to be. And so, yes, the social airways, internet, I'm not sure what frequencies are being sent out over the 4G, but I understand the 5G can be very harmful to our human magnetic field. I understand that can be harmful, not only to us, but to the planet and to the grid around the planet as well. Through maybe certain rituals, practices that these at the top do. I mean, at the very, very top, who kind of do their magical, occult rituals, and I'm very versed in that. So I understand it from that level. But these lower, I don't know, if I can call them humans, because I think some of them might even be, what's the word? Hybrid, right? Have a little bit of alien DNA that have been here for thousands of years and are still in that controlling, manipulative, but they suck off of our energy, and that the main energy they suck off of us is fear, the lowest vibration, as opposed to love, which is the highest, and fear, the lowest. Yeah, but so they feed off of that.
Right? So they work at keeping people in that fear vibration.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, Jayne, you hit it.
And then when you're in that fear vibration, you're less likely to connect to your own inner power.
Exactly. And they keep us, and that's how they keep us divided. Yes, that is a controlling mechanism. Because you keep people in fear, you control their thought patterns, you control their emotions and their actions, what to do, where to go. And yes.
Right? Because you can't even connect to your heart when you're in fear.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Yes. And that's their sole purpose, to keep us disconnected from that heart center, from our spirit, from connectivity to the universal consciousness. But it's here, and that connecting, that your field connecting to the greater field of consciousness, awareness of who and what we are. That's what they want to dim, that light, that shining, beautiful light within our hearts. Yes, that's what they want to dim. And this I know, Jayne, when that little light within your heart starts to shine, you start to awaken, and the angels see that, because we have free will, right? That's the greatest gift that I believe God gives us, is the free will to choose. That's how we learn. Okay. So, but when that little light within that heart center starts to glow a little bit, and you start to awaken, that love frequency starts to vibrate more and goes outward, your guardian angels and right spirit guides and so forth, they see it and they come in closer and they go, oh, okay, nice. So it's vibrating at a higher frequency, more of their frequency. So it's all about resonating to the same frequency, right, as the higher. And so when you do that, they come closer and they start guiding you and directing you. And so those who are of a higher vibration, you're more psychics and mediums, right? Who, your sense of hearing or sight or touch or smell, that will become even more heightened. But then they come around, guide you, or new people will come into your life, or a book. This is what happened for me. People come into my life, or a book, or whatever, signs, angel signs, synchronicities come into your life. But then you're being guided, by your higher self, by your angels, and then it all just kind of interacts. But you have to go, you have to recognize and go, okay, interesting, and then move forward from there, and then make that connection and feel that energy around you, and but yeah, it all starts right here. Yes. And for those who are into yoga and meditation and chakras, yes, that's the place to go. Yeah. Mantras, sounding. Yes.
So Don, when you had that really massive experience of feeling that love around you, surround you, that must have been a real beginning of even more synchronicity. Like, they were telling you you're on the right path. Like, we see you, yes. We feel you, right?
Yes. Yeah, we see you, we feel you. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Yes. And it led me more. And see, Jayne, as I'm going through this transition, and I'm learning, I'm taking these courses and I'm doing my meditation prayers, and the experience I'm having, on the astral plane, and trying to maintain that vibration or that consciousness in an environment of a very low consciousness, around men, with male egos, screaming and shouting or fighting or whatever, the whole male ego. I've learned so much about the male ego, right? And how it truly works, just seeing it and experiencing it, but there's a lot of fear in prison, just from different angles, but a lot of hatred and anger. Oh, lots of anger. And so these different energy fields, and so you're having to navigate through, and try to keep your consciousness, your level up, your positivity up and so forth, when you're dealing with individuals who are on a very low frequency band, and just, but getting to recognize, and I got to learn. I had a friend who was studying with me, and he was really cool. I'll never forget this guy, but he could see people's auras, and we would be sitting at the bench, and he could actually see the colors. I could see people's auras, but I was starting to see the colors. You could just see like a grayish white, around the head area, the shoulder. But he could see the colors so well. And I got to learn about the colors of the aura and different emotional levels, consciousness levels that are associated, with different colors. But he would hit them spot on, knowing who the person was, but sitting in front of them. I'd ask him, what's that guy's color look like? He said, ooh. He'd go, ooh. I said, what? Oh, wow. A really deep red, which is, usually a lot of either high sex, consciousness or anger, right? A lot of anger. And then you go, oh, okay, yeah, we're seeing this person, in past experiences, interacting with others. Okay, now I get this. Or people with a light blue or a purplish, and that person is a very happy, peaceful person, right? Very serene and so forth. So then you go with the colors. But yeah, I used to sit across from him. I have to get like 5 or 6 feet away. I go, what's my aura look like? And usually it was like a light, like he would look around my head area and my shoulder, and it was like he said it was like a light blue with a little green swirling around and a bit of purple, right? I'm like, oh wow, that's cool, but yeah. Yeah. But you just understand, yeah. The whole energy field. Yes, that's exactly what we are. We are energy. We are conscious energy beings, divine, so But yeah, that's just some of the experiences that I've had in prison. But and I'm still learning, Jayne. I love to learn. I love to experience. I'm a very social person. I love getting out and meeting people and sharing and just being kind, and putting a smile on people's faces, especially children. God, I love children, Jayne. I just, when they're 3, 4, 5, 6, when they're just before the stage, when they're indoctrinated, into the negative culture that we're in. Yes, yeah, when they're so still full of has some, just that beautiful spirit, joy and happiness and just going with the flow, just all jumping around and just interacting with that field, right? And feeling that field and that frequency level and go, whoo, wow, uplift me, I bring out the child in me, yeah. So I love interacting with children. Yes. Oh yeah. Beautiful. So, yeah. So,
Dawn, I love your story. I mean, I think we all go through transformation. Very few of us come in and are just like, bam, we got this. Right?
yes.
we almost need the pain or like as a catalyst to awaken us. And I mean, your story is just, it's kind of mind blowing, and how you went from that to where you are now. And I mean, you're the same person, right? It's just a matter of remembering.
Yes. Yes. I love what you just said, Jayne. It is. It's all about remembering. Yes. Remembering who and what we are. Yes. Because we have forgotten, but we've been kind of programmed to forget, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Very masterfully.
Yes. Very masterfully. Yes. Yes.
So tell us so you and I both belong to Thrive Tribes. I'm on Health Tribe and you're on Mind Tribe. And we work a bit together because we know that the mind affects the health and health affects the mind. And there's, energy involved in all of that. So you and I, we share each other's stuff and connect quite a bit. But can you tell everyone a bit more about Thrive Tribes and how they could join?
Yes, would love to. Yes, everyone listening, please just take a second, go to Facebook, look at Thrive Tribe Global. And if you go on YouTube, we're on YouTube as well, Thrive Tribe Global. And we are 13 tribes. Like Jayne just said, we have an eco tribe for those who are in love with Mother Nature, with Gaia, and wanted to help in that area. We have a Love Tribe. And I believe Blossom is Love Tribe. She's a luminary for Love Tribe. And so this whole avenue there. Oh yeah, I think I'm in there. I believe so because that just resonates just with me. Yeah, the Love Tribe and Mind Tribe. Yes, what I'm in, and because what you just said. Yes, the mind. It all starts with the mind. Yes, and so and connecting that your mind with the greater mind, because that's the universe is mental, Jayne. Everything is mental. Yes, that is key. Yeah. Think of the universe as composed of mental substance. Okay. Yeah. And when we speak of mind, now we're fully aware of the conscious mind, but not too much of the subconscious mind, which is so, so powerful. So giving suggestions to the subconscious is very creative, either on a negative level or a positive level. But anyway, yes, Thrive Tribe Global is awesome for everyone. Just check us out. And we're all about personal development, sovereignty, freedom of our individuals and selves, our spirit, our souls, the planet, creativity, creating communities of like-minded spirits, souls, travelers on this journey. Yes. But I want to give a plug out to Jamie Onofre, our beautiful creator and founder of Thrive Tribes Global, this beautiful spirit. I love her so much. She is awesome. Yes. Check out Jamie Onofre. She's the one that brought it all together. And we are growing, we are expanding because our consciousness are expanding. More people are waking up. But everyone, please just check out Thrive Tribe Global because we are the real deal. We are luminaries and we are creating, like what I said, the truth, the beauty, the goodness for each other, for our children, for the planet, for everyone. Yes. Yeah. Overcoming the negativity, expressing the positive.
Right? Just focusing on where we could move to.
Yes. Yes.
Instead of
Yes.
focusing
Exactly.
on what is wrong with the planet, we need to come up with the
Yes.
solutions, and
Yes.
that's,
Thriving. Yes.
yeah, together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Together.
that, yeah,
Exactly.
so beautiful. Thank you,
Yes.
Dawn. And how do people reach out to you and find you? You're going to have
Uh,
a,
yes. You know what? I can't wait to get my podcast started. But I'm on Facebook, just under Don Jackson. Would you like me to give my email out
sure, I
or
can
no?
put it, I'll just put it in the show notes. And
Okay,
then
sure.
if
Okay,
people want to
cool.
reach out to you, they can. And
Okay, great. I would love to hear from people. Just love to, hear feedback. If this message resonate with you, if you'd like to talk more, I'm all about helping people. I'm all about sharing, and creating. So
right.
yes, I hope this
And
was
you,
very resonant. Huh?
yeah. And you've been through the fire, right? Like you
Yes.
can really relate to someone that's hurting or in a bad place.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. And feelings. Yeah. Yeah. I feel energies, of people. And so I guess it's because of my water sign, Scorpio. I'm I'm very sensitive to the energies, right? And so yeah, people, it's all about the feelings. Let your feelings know. But I like to leave everybody with this about being kind, right? Kindness is a not only an emotion, but it's an action, right? It's an energy. So truly heartfelt kindness, right, to your neighbor, to your friend, to your loved ones, whoever, somebody, just stranger you meet on the street. Be kind, right? Smile, say a nice word, a gesture. But when you're kind to others, Jayne, they respond in kind. Get that? When you're kind to others, they respond in kind. It's all interplay of energies, action, reaction, cause and effect. Be the effect, be the cause, but be the cause, understand the effect, and then create. Yeah, yeah.
Responsible creation.
Responsible creation, exactly. Becoming responsible, knowing, yes, how am I going to treat the world today, myself, people I interact with? But being where I've been, I've seen the effect of what I've done, but now I'm responsible, so I understand it. Understanding the key to all things. So, okay, Jayne, yeah, we'll wrap this up. Okay, thank you so much, Jayne.
Thank
This
you,
was this
Dawn.
was awesome.
I loved it. Such a beautiful conversation. I
Yes,
loved
hey,
it. Loved you. Thank you so much.
thank you so much too. Blessings to everybody. Love, light, and healing. Thank you.
Thank you. And to everyone out there, don't forget, don't give away your power to anyone else. Be the creator of your own life. Spiral up, spiral out.